MBC. I'm your host, David McDonald, and we have Miller, we have Cleo. Mr. Blackman is on set all weekend and was not able to join us tonight. We do have a couple of special guests. We are returning contributor to the show, music producer David SOSRRY McDonald, and we have aerial performer, model, and actress Miss Gina Dennis. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good.
Weather here is gorgeous. It was about 83 degrees. Went for a walk in the park, walked out to the river, skipped some rocks, saw some wildlife. It was a pretty chill day for the most part, though.
It's pretty gloomy and rainy here in Arkansas.
Are you guys catching some of those thunderstorms heading across the Midwest?
Past 3 days, it's been nice and rainy and gray and gloomy.
Yeah.
I hate it when it's like this.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's getting ready to snow here up in Colorado.
Snow with an S.
Snow, yeah.
How much snow you guys do to get?
They say between 2 to 4 inches.
Oh, they'll be going in the morning.
No, it's supposed to snow the whole weekend.
The whole weekend, so it's gonna stick.
Yes.
I mean, how do you feel about that personally?
Oh, I love it. You know, I'm a hot nature person.
You can't do nothing.
You can't get out, so you ain't got to.
Yeah, you can't do nothing.
Oh, I get out in it. You know, I have a ball in there.
Yeah, my time in the Midwest, I was glad I had a truck out there. Definitely, I was glad I had a truck. We had one other guest on. She may sign in while we're going, but we're definitely gonna go in and get started. All right. So start off a little light. I know most of us have either watched sports or played sports or both during our lives. In your opinion, who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time?
It depends on what sport you're talking about. If you're
Michael
football,
Jordan.
That's basketball.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
I would say Jordan in basketball.
Okay, we'll put it this way. I guess in terms of combination of endurance, skill, smarts, stamina, and longevity. I mean, take all those into consideration. If you had to name one person, regardless of the sport.
Michael Jordan.
Shakira Richardson is the one I picked, and just because I like Olympic sports better than I do baseball, softball, and football. I used to watch those a lot more, football and baseball, but my grandpa died, my father-in-law died, and it just kind of threw me away from those kind of sports. But I really like Olympic sports, and my favorite are gymnastics, of course, and ice skating. But Shakira Richardson is the bomb. She's the definition of discipline and self-worth. Like she has the GOAT of all comebacks. Like awesome. If y'all don't know who she is,
she's a runner, right?
Yeah. The Olympic gold that she got in 2020. She got disqualified.
She got caught up with the weeds.
She came back in the 2024 Olympics and got 2 medals. So, boom, that's a comeback worth mentioning.
Gotcha. So
I like Jordan because he changed the whole game for basketball. He made basketball, brought it from $1 million sport to $1 billion sport all by himself, basically.
Okay.
The game changed around him for him, and ain't nobody else ever did that.
Gotcha.
Been some good superstars in all games. Nobody changed.
I gotta go with Jordan as well.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I looked up my answer earlier, and I looked up my answer earlier. I'm going with the first person to ever complete a marathon. His name was Pheidippides. He was a Greek soldier that ran 26 miles from Marathon all the way to Athens to tell the Greek guys that they beat the Persians.
Okay.
And that's where the name of marathon comes from.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And he probably did that without any special shoes.
Yeah.
No special shoes, all the gear on. And he still probably had his sword, because imagine if he got caught up on the way there.
Yeah, had that. Yeah, he'd have to work some things out for sure.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I mean, I would say Tom Brady, and I'm only saying that because it's such a hands-on sports, contact sport. He did it for 20 years. He did have one season when it was cut halfway short, because he caught a nice shot in the leg. But I would say just because of the nature of the sport, I would say Tom Brady. Yeah, not that I like football more than basketball or track, because I mean, I had my daughter, she ran track in high school and college, and basketball, I love coaching it at times, and
Why Tom Brady's not even that athletic though?
No,
he's a winner. He's definitely a winner, but not athletic though.
I mean, to do it for 20 years though.
That's contact sport for him.
What's that? What's that, Cleo?
There wasn't no contact sport for him. They couldn't touch him.
He not getting hit. He just throwing the ball to the dudes that get hit.
They couldn't touch him.
We got actress Kimberly Blunt just signed in. What's good, Kimberly? How you doing?
Oh wow.
I think you're muted, Kim.
Just had it. Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Hey.
Hey, Miss Kimberly.
I literally just walked in the door. It's hot, muggy out.
I got you. I don't know if you heard that question. Who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time?
I heard it. For me, I grew up watching boxing. We did it as a community where I grew up. So I really think, for me, is Muhammad Ali. He's a global icon. He's known for his he's very boisterous. He's an activist. He spoke his mind, and he was a great boxer. And he's known all over the world. So I believe he's at least one of the greatest. And
Oh, Cassius Clay.
That's a good one.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
That's what my mama said. I asked my mama some of these questions just to get her opinion on it, and she said Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. I guess it's something a little more serious. How would you guys say, how has social media impacted your mental health, if at all?
Depending on what's going on and what they're putting out there, it kind of disturbs your peace at times. Even when you're not even involved in the situation, just reading about it can affect you mentally, whether you believe it or not, or even notice it or not. It affects your sleep pattern because you're trying to stay up and look at everything and listen to everybody's comments. You're going from this page to that page just to see everybody's opinion. And it just affects you whether you know it or not. So.
Yeah, I think for me, I know I was bullied for a couple months in the 5th grade, and it's like how you dealt with bullies when I was coming up. You just had to face it. And versus today, you got kids, killing themselves because they're getting bullied on social media, and it's like, what? If you feel like if there's something on social media you don't like, just don't sign in. But because they feel like they have the right to be on social media, they can't stay away from it. And it's just like, I guess for me, that part doesn't make sense to me. But I guess just overall, I think it does, as far as like my mental health, it doesn't affect me personally, but because I had soldiers that I was in charge of in the military, it's like, I guess just trying to relate, to how they, a lot of people like they would take it personally if people didn't like them, and just had to work on building up their their self-esteem and just letting them know it's like, hey, it's okay for everyone not to like you. That's my experience.
I'll go ahead and go. I already have like social anxiety issues a little bit, so it has kind of a negative and positive impact depending on the situation. Again, positively, I can get like more courage to open up and interact with someone because I'm not face to face with them. I'd be more nervous if I'm face to face with someone behind a keyboard, right? And then the negative thing is there's such a spider web of connections and networks behind the scenes that you don't see and don't know about that can not even be real. Like you can have false things that you're following. It could be AI, and you just never know. Everything is so unknown that it drives me nuts.
What you think, James?
I've been saying to get on social media because it's a bunch of lies for one, you know, and then you got some people up there that talk about other folks and all this and all of that. So I've been saying to get on social media. I've been saying to watch the news, all that, you know, because it's a waste of time. You know, Kimberly says she was right. Sometimes you get up there and you're up there for hours looking at this, looking at that, you know, and then next minute, you know, it gets boring, you know. What do you think about Bailey?
Me, I use it as a good thing myself. I don't get into a whole lot of stuff. I use mine strictly for fun, games, and family. You know, I have fun with my family. I have fun doing stupid things on there. So, and I don't take nobody serious on there. You know, anybody can be a bully, and I ain't never been scared of bullies, so that never affected me. I just take it and keep right on moving most times. So I enjoy social media. And I don't spend a lot of time on it, but I spend a lot of time on it. I'm not on now for hours on top of hours, but I'm on there constantly. You know, and I might go on there and look at it for 5 minutes, get off. Another hour later, might go back on again for 5 or 10 minutes. But I ain't constantly never on it for 2 or 3 hours in a row. Because most of the stuff you read on it is fake anyway, or made up. I take it for fun and I enjoy it. I truly enjoy social media. I think it's one of the best things that was done. And for me, for people who get bullied and like that, I think that's, you know, if somebody gonna bully me and I can't take it, I'm gonna get off social.
Or block
Exactly. So I think they do, a lot of them do it just for attention. You know, the more attention they get, so they keep doing it.
Gotcha.
But that's just my opinion.
What you got, Z?
Social media doesn't really impact my mental health. I would say, like, if I had to look back historically, it probably shortened my attention span a little bit. But, like, impacting me mentally, like I feel the same as Cleo. Like, get up, I laugh every day. I get on social media, I see something funny, like, and that's all it's good for. When it comes time to like do business and I start putting music out, then I'll go up there and treat it like a transaction. And the people that see it, they'll see it. You know, the people that don't see it, whatever. I'm not really too pressed because nobody's gonna tell me something crazy to my face in person about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So like on social media, it's all trolls. Like, yeah, not a huge impact. Yeah.
Gotcha. I know in the military, during my time anyway, there was a shift. It's like at first, people trying to go for special duty, like recruiter, drill sergeant, whatever. If someone had, you know, problems they were trying to deal with mentally, say, hey, you know, just you know, these are the answers they're looking for, because, you know, you had part of your submission packet, you had to take some tests or, you know, have some camp briefings or whatever. And then it's like, during my time in, it's like it changed. You know, they even changed it. They changed the clinic from, you know, mental health to behavioral health. You know what I'm saying? Trying to change the stigma or the mindset of it. So I guess, what's your perspective on the stigma of, you know, mental health, you know, in terms of whether people should seek help or not, or if they should just suck it up and deal with it? I mean, have y'all had any good or bad experiences with that?
Well, I think it's, you're gonna go, Cleo? Who's that?
I think they should just suck it up, because it is a stigma behind it, and it no matter how much help you get, it still hurts you. So, but
now, are you saying hurts you in terms of, I mean, because people, I mean, the civilians,
career, life, how people look at you.
Okay,
it hurts you in all ways.
But it can also hurt if you don't get, you know, you can get counseling, and everything is not about you being like crazy or something like that. It's all about keeping yourself stable. You know, you might want to talk to somebody. You don't want to burst out, you know, just because you had gone through some things and you haven't even said that. It don't have to be a professional. At least sit down and talk to someone. And still, you're talking about your mental health, and it's not always like you're gonna like a PTSD type thing. It's not always like that. You just want to be able to manage your emotions, you know. And I think everybody needs to have a sit down with someone they trust, you know. And I'm not talking about medication therapy or anything like that. You know, you want to express some things that you can't express openly to someone. Like if you're in school, like a student, for example, they can't always go to their teachers, because sometimes the teachers, you know, brush them off. So they try to keep the things to themselves, and they end up getting in fights in school. There's a lot of fighting in school because they might be going through some things at home that they can't even discuss with their teacher, and they're holding it in. Like you say, you suck it up. Everybody can't suck it up, because everybody's not strong enough to suck it up like you, Bailey.
Yeah, but a lot of times you talking to a person that's going through the same thing you going through.
Right. That's why I say you get to do somebody you trust.
But he don't know the answer.
Right.
But he's gonna give you an answer, and he's going through the same thing. Right. So it's a catch-22 to me. But it's just.
And I think it'll determine.
I mean, if you look at it like that, then like nobody can ever get help, and like nobody can help anybody, because nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Who are you supposed to get guidance from if like you can't ask this person, because they're also dealing with, who better to ask than to ask somebody who's been dealing with like similar things and like learned how to get past the obstacles that you're currently dealing with.
Is he really getting past them, or just going through the changes? Just like
we'll never know.
Exactly, you never know.
But at least there's emotion.
You gotta try. You supposed to just give up?
No, you don't give up. You just let it beat,
know
you
let it beat you
yourself, no matter what your problem is.
Give an example. My granddaughter, I have custody of her, and for some reason, it could be because her mom's not in her life. She's trying to be in her life a little bit more now. But it's their thing.
Hey, Kim, your audio is real low for some reason.
Do I need to talk louder?
It's still low.
I didn't do anything different.
There you go. There you go. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did, but you did it.
You uncovered something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have custody of my granddaughter. She has been acting out a little bit lately, and I made an appointment. It took a whole year to get an appointment through mental health. A whole year, because they're so backed up.
Okay.
She finally got in to talk with someone, and I don't think he's a good therapist or psychiatrist, but he's only talking about medication management. He gave her it was a non-stimulant pill to keep her calm in school so she could just focus. And I don't think she needed that, but she really took it one time, and she's been okay. Sometimes it's the environment that you're in. I moved to Suffolk. She's now in Kings Fork Middle School, and she's a whole different person. Mm-hmm. It could be the environment. The children can affect other children based on where they grew up, how they treat each other at home. It could be anything, but she's able to talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much just check on her and let her be open about what she's maybe going through. But for right now, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Gotcha.
She was getting into fights and everything at school,
mm-hmm.
but her whole demeanor has changed once she's switched from Churchland Middle School to Kings Fork.
Gotcha.
And y'all don't see it as a problem that 95, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to give a number because I know y'all like to hold me on numbers, but a whole lot of people are suddenly coming up mentally ill.
I don't think it's suddenly. I don't think
it's suddenly.
And all of that. And I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about people that should be depressed. I'm talking about little young kids ain't got a worry in the world, and you sending them to talk to somebody because they're depressed.
I don't think her, for the situation with Amari.
I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. No, don't get me wrong.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying in general, there's a whole.
But I'm just saying let me finish for her, because I don't know if she's coming along. She didn't grow up with her mom, and in the beginning, she wanted a relationship with her mom, and her mom just wasn't there. So initially, I'm thinking that's where it came from. But also, my mother passed away, her grandmother passed away, and her great grandmother passed away on her mom's side. These were all the people she was close to. So I'm thinking it's based on that, and that's where her depression comes from.
I'm gonna ask one more question, then I'm done. I'll let y'all talk. So what do y'all think the reason all these young people are coming up mentally depressed now?
I don't think it's just. Oh, go ahead, because I've been talking.
I'm thinking what it is so mental health just became like a thing. Like we just realized we have a lot of people struggling in society relatively recently compared to like the last 20 years. But there were definitely mentally ill and people like, coming up in the last 20 years, having kids, all that, what I'm saying, interacting with people. These kids are saying they have these problems because they don't know how to emotionally regulate, and their parents don't know how to emotionally regulate either. So they can't ask them for help because their parents probably also went through mental health issues or were around people who had undiagnosed, unchecked mental health issues, and they raised them. Now we're in the social media era where anybody can get their opinion out to anybody. So these kids are hopping online because that's where their whole life is, basically. And they're like, dude, I have mental health issues, like blah, 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 blah. And they're talking about it, but everybody still lacks emotional intelligence. So they're not getting anywhere, what I'm saying, handling these problems. And that's why you
just be a fad that they're going through. He got it, so I got it. He got it, so I got it. I got to play.
I mean, that's not a fad. What if you see like similarities between you and your homie who grew up down the street and y'all's parents are also friends and hang out and y'all are going through the same things? And I'm also a believer that all feelings are valid until you show me where unless I can see where the mess up is. But like, I can't tell you you're wrong for feeling that because it stimulated your brain in a different way.
Yeah,
go ahead, Gina.
It's a serious issue and it affects each person differently. Like everybody is unique in their mental state, stability, and mindset. Like, I think it's actually normal for you to have mental illnesses or mental trouble. Like, it's normal. All of us have some kind of mental issue or breakdown sometime in our life. I would think so. That makes you normal. Like, you don't have to have the quote unquote be insane to have illness. You can be completely sane and really quite intelligent and still have, anxiety issues or self-worth issues like that. And those are all, mental issues.
Those are things you work through on your own. They're not really mental issues.
Well, you work through it in your brain, right? So it starts.
Right. You work through them on your own.
Process it and figure out how to work it, so it can become. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that. I think mental health, or should I say, managing mental health, has definitely evolved. I mean, because I know I can look at when I first got in the military versus when I got out. They've thrown a lot of resources and training at it. You know what I'm saying? think, physically, if you want to train to be a marathon runner, you have to put in work physically to get, exercise and nutrition. So in terms of maintaining your mental health, there's a series of things that you have to do. Some people, religion is one way they do it. Some people do affirmation. Some people do a combination. Some people have a hobby that, they can get their creative ideas and whatnot out. I know in the military, we took it for granted, having, NCOs and whatnot, we had to function as those quote unquote life coaches. But then in the civilian sector, people are getting paid. There's some people that make lots of money being life coaches because people, sometimes people lack that drive and that determination because once again, a life coach is basically a mental health personal trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think, a lot of that, how we're looking at it as a whole has just changed a lot.
And there's a lot of people that supposedly trainers and mentally this are driving a lot of people to suicide. And they're figuring that out now because they don't know how to deal with what the people are doing, and people are killing themselves behind stuff that they're telling them.
Are they telling
them? Again, in my opinion, you're supposed to work that stuff out yourself. Unless you got a chemical imbalance, I can see you being mentally. If you ain't got a chemical imbalance, you're almost a normal person. So you should be able to fix little things.
So you're saying, what you're telling me, what I'm hearing from you is if someone comes to you and they have some issues, you basically telling them to suck it up unless you have a chemical imbalance.
Stop being weird.
If I listen to them and I hear what they're saying, and I know it's nothing really wrong, but in their own head, yes, I'm gonna tell them to suck it up.
And that's
it
why
looks
they
like that to you, though.
Say what?
It looks like that to you.
Right.
Yeah. Let me jump in.
It's like it's not a problem for you.
You just said a lot of people are driving the people to commit suicide.
Exactly, because
sound like you're doing.
Because nobody else can really fix your problem.
Hey, let me jump in right quick.
Go ahead, James.
I got a scenario right now that came to me as a mental person. They've been going to mental health on a regular basis. Mental health cleared them. Now this soldier is acting up, and she still want to continue care, but there's nothing really wrong with her. But now she's acting like something is really wrong with her.
See, sometimes that's a catch-22. People trying to get 100% when they get out. You got to watch that too. But if you believe that she's just acting up,
that's the problem. She don't want to go back to her unit. Yeah, she's acting up, but she don't want to go back to her unit.
Trying to get that honey bun.
Yeah, that's different. A little bit.
Get that honey bun.
Because I know people now, I was stationed with this guy. I was in the Navy, squared away guy. He did training for ESWAS and Great Gain Pin, EAWS, and all this stuff. He was a serial killer. We did not know it. He carried himself like he had it all together.
What?
He went to prison.
He went to what? Princeton?
Prison.
Oh.
Because he was a serial killer. He was running those young guys.
Yeah, I thought you said Princeton too.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
No, he was a squared away, AJ squared away. You would have never known.
He was killing people in the Navy, or he did that after?
They were soldiers. It might have been Army people he was killing, because we were at Fort Eustis. We were in the yards. So
you didn't even know about that.
He didn't. How we knew it was him? Somebody drew a description of him, and we said he looked familiar, and it turned out to be him.
Whoa! On the boat with a serial killer?
You would have never known, though. He was AJ squared away. So that's something.
I had to get out right after that. I'm not gonna lie. That would have gave me PTSD, and I would have probably. What I'm saying?
Now, so much stuff happened while in my career. You would have.
All right. Yeah, you're just like serial killer. All right, whatever.
But she's right though, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the military that other people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we got a child molester on post.
I worked at the brig. My short man. A lot of guys mess with kids.
Yep. And you know, they know about it. It's a lot of people want to put their hands on it. You know,
They mentally are just mean.
Perverts. Well, you gotta be sick in the head to do something like that.
yeah.
Wait, so who's stopping
know
them
what
from
they're
putting
doing.
hands on them though?
No, nobody should be able to stop him if you know.
I'm like, why hasn't he got touched?
Why isn't he in the brig?
Well, they got him in isolation right now because so many soldiers on post. They really
He
want to
needs
try
to
to
go
get
to
to him.
Fort Leavenworth.
Yeah,
That's where he need to be at.
but that's up to the post commander. It's not up to.
It should be up to you.
You need to write him. If you wrote him up for something like that, and you know he's guilty of it, that's y'all fault. He's still not.
Boy, he's not over there in my section. He's not over there where I'm at. You know, but they got him under isolation and everything because the guy that's in the barracks that where he live at, they really trying to get to him. You know.
He should be somewhere else. He should be.
The guy got already.
Yeah.
Being y'all talking about killers, let me give you one now. You tell me if this guy was mentally ill. Because they say he's mentally ill. This guy went in the store last week on the Eastern Shore. And I know the guy personally. I know the family personally. He went into the store the day before. And they wouldn't sell him some cigarettes because he didn't have enough money. So the next morning, he got up, waited outside, was there early in the morning when they opened up, went in the store and killed both of them. Now, you tell me, was he mentally ill or was he sitting there playing a dumbass?
That part.
Because a mentally ill guy ain't going to sit there and plan that in his head.
Right.
But y'all allow them
He's
to
a murderer.
every time somebody say something now, they mentally ill.
Oh no, I don't think that's not the case. He's a murderer. He knew exactly what he was.
Oh yeah, he's a murderer. He gonna definitely get it.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
But he sit right there and waited for them to open up. And they opened up. He went in there and killed both of them. Well, killed one the day of. One died a little later.
Yeah, that's everything's not mentally ill. He just.
But they say he's mentally ill.
But did
because
they just,
every time something happened there, you're mentally ill. That's why I'm saying.
No, I don't think that.
There are some people who got chemical imbalance and they really are mentally ill, but most of them is
everybody's not.
You can't let the murderers ruin your outlook on mental health, though.
Right.
No. Because I'm not saying this. This guy was supposedly mentally ill before this.
Oh, he had problems before.
But he had access to weapons.
He had access to weapons because it was nothing wrong with the guy. This is what I'm telling you. If you're a mentally ill guy can't think like that. Your head ain't that good if you're mentally ill. You can't
all kinds of mental illness out there.
Right.
It's all kinds. But a lot of it is okay.
You say he wasn't known to be a mental illness.
No, he was known.
What are you saying then?
He was a mental ill person cannot think like that. I know too many real
right, but like
think like
a
that.
Sociopath. Do you register a sociopath as somebody with a mental illness?
Nope.
What about a psychopath?
That personality.
They're actually both mentally ill.
Yeah. That's a mental illness diagnosis.
I think it's just an escape route, but that's just me.
Like.
All right. All right. These last two are kind of fun. All right. Obviously, we all know what the divorce rate is in America. It's
I don't. What is it?
It's okay. As far as first marriages, the divorce rate is somewhere between 48 to 54%. So basically half. Of first marriages and divorce. Now, my question, and a lot of times you'll hear the word irreconcilable differences, or we just grew apart. So my question is, how do you balance personal growth within a committed relationship? I mean,
who's in a committed relationship up here?
I mean, it could be any. You said what?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
What'd you say?
I want to know who's up here. You?
Oh, cut it out. You need to stop that mess, man.
Well, I mean, so
I would say it's hard to do. Like, so if your relationship is not having any growth, then you ultimately are not having any growth. So in my opinion, personal growth is you learning about you, right? And if your relationship is not growing, you're focused on learning about your relationship. And then you're not focused on growing as a person. Whenever that stops and you then can turn your attention inwards, then you have time to finally find yourself and let it go. That was my opinion on the matter.
Because I know I've had people say, you know, I'm goal oriented, you know, I got goals in life, I'm trying to go somewhere, and this person's not trying to go anywhere. I'm a saver, they're a spender. You know, you have all these conflicting agendas going at once. And so it's like, if someone's trying to improve themselves, you know, while still trying to honor that relationship, it's like, you know, some people, you know, they duke it out for a while and make it work, and then some people just throw their hands up and walk away. I mean, so
I don't look at it as growth or none of that stuff. I just look at it, you're getting tired of each other. So you just one go one way, the other go the other way. Because if I got goals and you ain't got no goals, if I'm still in love with you or I still want you, I'm gonna do me and you just coming along for the ride. I'm not gonna try to make you be somebody you ain't. So when you see people leave each other, it ain't about growth, it's about you tired of that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. But again, that's just my opinion. And I done had a lot of people that I done got tired of in my life. And they done got tired of me.
Okay, so like, what about like, this is a personal story. I once had a breakup where the reason we ended up splitting was because I wasn't tired of that person by any means. They didn't do anything to me. I reached a new point in my life where, you know, there were opportunities and things that were opened up to me that weren't on the table before. And I wanted to personally grow. And I wasn't going to be able to do that in a relationship, if you know what I mean. Like.
What you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
All right. There were opportunities and experiences that I wouldn't have been able to partake in.
Some other women?
No. Not just. I mean, yeah, but like, no. It's like more than that. It's like, I can't be out doing these types of things. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta, like, why do I gotta tell you that I'm about to go to the, you know, to the bar with my homies at 10 o'clock? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing else to do. We stuck on base. You want me to
you tired of the
know,
relationship.
that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
She didn't want me in like rooms with certain people that could have been advantageous to meet.
Right.
Like that. So I ended up having to be like, all right, I'm not tired of you, because me and her are actually still really, really, really good friends right now. It's just like, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to change like the dynamic of our relationship to something that works better for both of us right now. Cause like, I was being honest with her at that time, she didn't really have enough time to like focus on us being together either. So it was just like, bro, let's just, you know what I'm saying, be cool and go back to the friends that we were before we decided to make things romantic. And that
you can chalk that up as being tired of the relationship, because if you're not tired of that relationship,
you said tired of the person first, though.
Well, that is the person.
I am tired of that relationship, not the person.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. You tired. If you weren't tired of it, you would make room for her.
If he was tired of, he wouldn't be friends with her today.
Exactly.
Tight. That's what
I'm
with Kim. You're not. She agreeing with you.
A friendship and a relationship are two different things.
Right. Well, he's not tired of her, because if I was tired,
you can be tired of her as a lover and still have her as a friend.
No, I would
Two
no.
different things.
No.
Well, see, here's
I
the
was
thing
tired
though.
of
I'm
someone,
still doing
I
all
wouldn't
the things that I was
want to be
doing
around at
before.
all.
Say what?
I'm still doing all the things that I was
But
doing
you're not in a
before.
relation with her now, so that don't matter.
So he's not tired of her.
I'm not tired of her.
I
couldn't be the boyfriend that she wanted me to be
tired
for
of
her.
her as a person. You're tired of her as being in that relationship.
I'm tired of her as a girlfriend.
Yes.
I would have been tired of anybody as a girlfriend in that situation. It's not her.
It doesn't matter who it is.
It's
not that you grew away from them. It's just you tired of them. Because you can't grow from somebody because you can always take. Just because I become an actor and my wife don't want to become like one, I don't have to leave her. Just because I go out here and work 80 hours a week and she don't want to work but 40, I don't have to leave her and say, well, you're not trying to make what I'm making, so I got to go.
If you don't leave her like cold turkey, then you're not tired of her, like you're saying.
Right.
I'm not tired. I wasn't tired of that girl. She's mad cool, and I would spin the block. I would actually spin the block when I'm ready to get married. I would spin the block right now if I was ready to get married right now. I don't have no problem with her. It just
you might not be tired of her now, but you was tired of her then. If you weren't tired of her, you'd be like that right now.
Nah,
I don't care.
It was way like, bro, there's things that I gotta do right now.
Why she couldn't do them with you?
Because it went against her, you know what I'm saying? Like personally, what she had aligned and what she would deal and not deal with in a relationship.
And the reason you got that way, because you didn't want her no more. I don't care how you say it.
No, I literally had gotten moved away from her. I went across the ocean, she back home. I'm in Italy, 19 years old, 20 years old in Italy. Everything started lining up. I'm not tired of her. We broke up and was still on the phone every day, like on FaceTime. You know what I'm saying?
Again, a relationship and a friendship is two different things.
We changed the dynamic of a relationship. Our relationship.
Yes, you did, because you was tired of the relationship and you were dealing with the friendship.
If he was tired of her, he would have blocked her.
No, he was tired of the relationship. He wasn't tired of her.
This other girl that I was tired of.
Hey, you know, I'm gonna sum this up. The question said, the last two words of the question is the giveaway: committed relationship.
Right.
So basically, Z, it sounds like you wanted the amicability of a close friendship, but you didn't want a committed relationship.
That's it. In a nutshell.
What you got, James? Before we move on, what you got, James? I mean, balance and personal growth. I mean, what does that all mean to you? What's up?
A committed relationship, both of y'all have to be committed to one another.
Okay.
It's not just, oh, I'm committed to you and you committed to me part-time. No, y'all got to be 100% with each other. You know, I can understand where Bailey coming from. I can understand where Z coming from, you know. But first of all, y'all got to take the time to know one another. Second of all, y'all got to take the time to set that foundation. Once that foundation is set, then a lot of things will fall into place, you know. So a committed relationship, it takes time to get to know and grow each other with one another. You got to become friends first before you come into a serious relationship.
Factual.
You got to know that person inside. You got to know that person outside. You got to know that person out in public, how they act in public with you and everything else. You know, I failed back in 2007 about that, you know. So, you know, and I learned from that, you know. So, you know, I understand where both of them is coming from, you know. I understand, but sometimes it will get hard, you know. So, you know, I understand. But commitment, it takes a lot of work for that.
So it sounds like, It sounds like I'm hearing you say, James, if you're truly committed to someone, then you'll be patient through the growth spurts. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yes. Because y'all taking the time to know one another. You know, like I said, you got to know how this person act in public. You got to know how this person act within in not in public. You know, I can understand. Like me, if I'm with somebody, I'm observing first of all. It's like say me and Miss Blunt, we out there together. I'm checking her out, and she don't even know it. I'm seeing how she's acting, you know, in public around her friends, around my friends. You know, if it's something that is meant to be, it's meant to be. But if something that is out of the ordinary, then you're gonna have second thoughts. Man, this is how, you know, it's how it's gonna be if we like this or like that, you know. Gotcha. But like I said, I understand where both of them is coming from. You know?
Gotcha. Okay. All right, you guys. Last question for you. Last question. Concerning relationship advice, what's the best relationship advice you've ever received?
Take the time to know the individual before you get into a relationship.
Okay.
Being patient, you know. Bailey, I know you got something to say.
I ain't got nothing to say. Understand it's going to be a hard thing. It's not overnight. Anybody tell you it's overnight, when they tell you I fell in love overnight and all that mess.
What was the best advice they gave you, Bailey?
That's the advice.
They gave you that advice.
No, he said that they didn't give you.
Oh,
no,
he said that they give you.
The best advice you ever received. Yeah.
Right.
I thought you said the best advice they didn't give you.
No. Best advice, best relationship advice you have ever received from someone. Yeah.
I ain't never received no good advice from
I knew you were gonna say that. That's what I was
saying. Because I ain't. Now you can say that.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Huh? I ain't never.
I agree. You must have a friendship foundation first. That was just some really good advice I got. I had 3 of them. And then you need to make sure you have things in common, lifestyle and religious ways and views, and then choose wisely. Whatever.
Yeah. Keep everybody out of your business. If you're arguing about something or having a disagreement, just keep within the house. Because that's how your relationship gets messed up too.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Z?
Keep going back to one video that I saw. It was this, like, if I find it, I'll send it to you on Instagram. It was this old pimp, and he was like, yeah, like who likes you, bruh. Like, don't go after no bad junk, bruh. Just go after who's rocking with you. Rock with who rocks with you.
That's a good advice.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something else, and I was just like, dang, that junk gonna ring true every single time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if y'all have a dispute, talk about it. Don't just leave the house, because you never know what might happen. You know, because if you leave the house and something happens, that individual gonna think about, wow, the last thing we had, you know, that we talked about, we was fussing at one another. You know, so sit down and talk about it. You know, if it get heated, go to another room, but then come back and regroup and talk about it. Because if you leave the house and something happens, that's the main thing right there. That person don't come back no more, because they person will end up dead or something, and that's gonna eat a person up. I done seen that happen.
People could do that. That would never be a breakup.
Oh man, cut it out. Just stop.
If you could do that, that would never be a breakup.
Everybody can't be like you, Bailey.
I mean, no, I'm just saying you're right. I'm agreeing with you, but if it was like that, that would never be a breakup.
James, he's not used to you agreeing with him, Cleo. That's all that is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that you agree.
I mean, I agree with James and Gina. I know communication is definitely important. what Gina said about friendship. Friendship is what causes people to be married for 60 years. You know, you're young and everything works and your libido's up and you just, you know, kicking butt and taking names. And then once you get old, you know, and things slow down, you actually still like the person. You know what I'm saying? You actually still like being around that person. You actually are friends with that person still. You actually still want to do things together. So definitely, you know, having that firmly established friendship definitely helps.
That's what me and that group lion get tired of. That's what we got, Cleo. We got strong, firm friendship.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you. That's exactly what you got. Strong friendship. I agree 100%.
That's funny. That's funny.
But if you grind and make her your girlfriend again, you're gonna be in trouble again.
Hey, we got the friendship because that's where it starts. I said I was in the block again. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe that's all we needed in the, you know what I'm saying? Like it was written, there was gonna be a break right here, and then they would get married.
Yeah, and y'all could get back together because you understand that, okay, you the best thing for me, and all that I went out there looking for wasn't there.
I'm not looking for anybody, first of all. I'm not looking for anybody.
No, I'm talking about then. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about then.
Hey, Cleo, he tried hard not to agree with you. That's funny.
I definitely was at that time.
All right.
You know, like the old saying, if you love something, let it go. But if it come back to you, it's meant to be.
Oh, that other guy didn't want her.
Oh
no! Why got to be another guy? Cut it out. Cut it out.
But that's also real too, though. Like,
yes, it
is. Doggone Cleo.
All right, I'm done.
All right. All right, you guys, we come to the end of this episode. We would like to thank our special guests for joining us. So sorry, Gina Dennis and Kimberly Blunt. We thank you guys for your contributions tonight. If you're watching the show and you would like to be a guest, respond to the email that's in the video description. Thanks again for watching. I'm your host, David McDonald, and we're MBC signing out. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. I enjoyed you.
All right, good night.
For having me.